you are tuned in to another episode of No Chaser Podcast, and we have a guest tonight that is an amazing talent right here from the Bay Area. This girl has accolades on top of accolades beyond what I can even tell you all about tonight. The kids that are right now on a basketball court are having dreams of maybe one day coming close to accomplishing some of the great things that this girl has accomplished. Just milestone after milestone. I could talk forever to tell you about all the wonderful things that she's done in our community and around the whole world of basketball. So without further ado, we're going to sit down tonight with the Shantia Grace. Amazing Grace. What it do?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man? I am thrilled to have you on No Chaser Live Talk podcast tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it's an honor and a pleasure. We got a lot to dive in and talk about. So first and foremost, for those that may not know of who Shantia Grace is, just kind of, we're going to break the ice and just tell them a little bit about yourself. We don't even scrape the surface. Just give them just a little bit about yourself.
Like you said, I'm Shantia Grace. I'm a 4-year college athlete, D1 at USF, USF Hall of Famer.
Speak on it.
Got my jersey retired out there.
There you go.
And a Hall of Famer at my high school, at Riverview High School in Sarasota.
Oh, man. That's amazing. So your love for basketball, when did that start? Like, at what age you probably first picked up a basketball and knew that this was something you wanted to pursue?
I feel like I started late. I started at the age of 12, actually.
Okay.
I started out at cheerleading. That's every woman in my family, every female cheered in my family. So
right.
I took that route for a couple of years, not too long. And I went to playing football.
Okay.
I played tackle football with the boys, the only girl out there, the first girl out there.
How did that go?
I was a beast out there.
Oh, yeah?
You know, around that age, I was 9, 10, 11 years old. You know,
Okay.
the girls are a little bit bigger than the boys, so I was a little rough.
Giving them the business.
Yeah, I set the tone early. Played against, some big time players that did well in the high school and college level. Speaking of that, Mike Ford, RIP, he actually just passed away, so that was my boy. But that football field gave me the toughness.
Okay.
But by the time, I got of age like 12, 13, I started actually, growing into being a woman, a female, so I switched to the basketball court.
Got you. Did somebody influence you, or did someone put a basketball in your hand and say, "Hey, Shantia, you might want to try this"? Or how did it come about? Was you just picking up a ball and going to the local gym, or?
Yeah, well, then it wasn't really too many gyms available like it is now. But
right.
Since I was always with the boys, I really just, did whatever they did. I dabbled into, a little baseball. That wasn't my thing. But basketball was, it just, something that I was interested in. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it became, Shantia Grace, but just wanted to do what everybody else was doing at the time.
Man, and you became very damn good at it. So I got some questions that I kind of put together that I want to ask you. What was more emotional for you, your first bucket at USF or your last bucket?
My last bucket.
I knew you was going to say that.
The first
and just kind of explain the difference between the two.
Yeah, the first one, I was a freshman. I was thrown into the mix. Just our senior point guard got injured, and it was just like, all right, Tears, your go. So
just like that.
Yeah. So it was all so fast for me. But by my senior year, that was at a point, my team, my program at a certain extent, and we were in a championship game. Like everyone don't get to play in the championship game and end their college career off as a champion. So that was, to me, big time in Kansas in front of 16,000 fans, and being able to silence the crowd.
That's
was a big
just
moment.
16,000 in the building, but imagine how many thousands of millions around the world that was tuned in.
Right. I know for a fact my family was tuned in back home, so
Right.
it was a big time moment.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing. That last bucket, man, that gotta be a very emotional one because, everything you set out to do, and then you don't, when you take that last shot, you don't know if that's the end all be all to something that you're so passionate about. So I can definitely see how that, it is that last shot. Being a 3-time All-American in your conference, that's a real big deal. What are some of the things Shantia Grace did to prepare to reach that accomplishment? Like what was your regimen? What was your thought process? Like anything from to the music that you listened to when you woke up, or the extra shooting in the gym, or what was it that did it for you to make you become that person?
It's crazy as it sounds. I listened to R&B actually going to games.
Really?
I was on Kelly Price.
The calm before the storm.
Yeah, I had to be calm because I always had to keep my cool on the court. So between that, as well as just knowing that it's not just about me. I always played for, everybody else. My mom, her sacrifices to get me to where I was, the school, my coaches, and anybody that was pulling for me. Just keeping that in the back of my mind, like, they're all rooting for you. You can't let them down.
Right. Did you have a particular regimen, or was it something that you could say, you know what, I always did this, or I felt like I had to always do this to be better?
Just look for my mom in the stands for one.
Okay.
My mom made sure she made it to every home game.
Shout out, Mom, dudes.
Yeah, my mom. That's the real MVP.
Yeah, that's real.
With her, making sure, as soon as she walk in, okay, now I can relax. She's here, and knowing, halftime, if I'm chewing gum and trying to shoot a free throw, she gonna let me know, like, throw that gum out. You can't do both at the same time. Or like, away games, just, talking to her before my games,
right,
to make sure, I'm in the right headspace and calm and collect.
Okay. Man, and you know what? Just hearing it from a Hall of Famer, jersey retired, you make it sound so simple, your preparation. Like, most people, they would say, man, you know what, I would get up before, the roosters crow, and I would do this and do that. And it's like, nah, just as long as my mom was in the stands, it's like you make it sound like it was so easy and second nature. Like, I love it, man. That's awesome. We kind of touched on this earlier, but, I want to touch on this also, before we started the show, me and you were speaking on this. But to be a local in the Bay Area and to play for the university in your hometown area, how did you embrace that? You had the opportunity to go anywhere, I'm sure, and play college basketball, but how did you embrace, like, being a hometown hero and playing right here?
I had the opportunity to meet my coach, Coach Fernandez. Shout out to him. He's still there at USF.
Okay.
But just being able to meet him, before I actually knew, who I really was on the basketball court. And he believed in me from the very beginning. And just, having him in my corner, having him, give me the confidence I can play anywhere. And having that, dad factor, he was a big, major part in that. And just being able to go somewhere where, I could put a stamp on it. USF at the time wasn't, as big as it is now. And, being able to Google my name and, pages pop up. That's really, what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to a high-end university and just be a number. I wanted to actually be somebody. And USF, gave that to me before I even got there. Right. Coach Fernandez, he really, gave me that boost to where you have it, you're it, and he pushed it, and forced, me to become, Shantia Grace. So I appreciate him for that. And, being able to have my mom come to games, or my family, it's not even just my mom. I have a big support with my family.
Supporting cast, right.
My sister, my niece and nephew and cousins, like, they all came every game to really support me and be there for me.
You know, that's very big because, you know, a lot of kids that play are not that fortunate to have their family and loved ones at every game, or every home game, I should say, you know, because most kids, they go out of state to play. So if mom and dad, or if mom or whoever their guardian is not in a financial situation to just go and travel and go see them play, rather if it's an away game or a home game, you know, they're playing in front of strangers. So that's big to have that family and that celerity, you know, behind you. Speaking on your coaches have a bigger role than just teaching you the fundamentals of basketball. You said something that's key, to have that father figure, you know, because that is your father away from your family. You know, I mean, he has to have your best interest as a person first. He has to teach you how to become a better person, a better adult. You know, like I told you earlier, when you signed on that line and committed to that university, you don't just represent Shantia Grace. You represent a brand. You represent a whole entity that's way bigger than you. Right. You know, so and even with you being, you know, communications major, you have to know how to speak in front of people, and that's something that you do very well. You know, so salute to that. Man, this is really, this is dope, man. To just be sitting here chopping it up with you. I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Let's talk about some of the other business ventures that you have going on, you know, post basketball.
Okay, well, I got my hands in a lot of stuff. I stay busy. So at a point, I do coach high school basketball.
Okay.
I'm in the mix of big time news. Might be tomorrow. I might announce it.
Let's claim it.
We're going to leave it at that. But between that, I do skills development training. So I train from elementary to high school girls. And if anyone that's in pros or semi-pros want to come, I'm down with that too. But I really love to focus on the younger kids, the youth, just so they can have the opportunity that I had to just grow, meet great people, and just live out their dream. So between, you know, coaching and being that face, I also am part owner of a home health care business. So I do dabble into, you know, the elder.
Okay.
And just make sure, you know, they're well taken care of. You know, sometimes their family is not in the area, so we be that family for them. So I dabble into that. I do that.
Okay.
I own a credit repair business. So that goes from personal credit to business credit. And
you are a real entrepreneur. Yeah. You getting it, man. Hey, that's what's up.
As well as on the basketball side, the AAU program that I just launched this year. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to form a team, but that's where the skills development training come from. So I do train, you know, a few girls that's willing to be on the team, that's ready to be on the team. And yeah, it's just a lot of that.
So do the girls who you train or coach, do they understand the magnitude of and the level of success that you accomplish? Do they really fully understand it, or are you just coach to them?
I don't think they necessarily understand, you know, who I am as far as the magnitude and as far as I went, because they're younger. They're younger and just really, you know, learning the game and starting out. But, you know, as they grow and actually be in tune to what's going on as far as, you know, colleges, high schools for some of them, colleges, pros, and get to know, you know, the dynamics of it, I think they'll grow into it. The high school girls, they're a little bit more in tune because they're a little older, but again, some of them are really just kind of starting out and learning. So as we go along, I think they'll get it.
Right.
But I'm not the type to kind of throw it out there and be like, I did this, I did that.
You're very humble. You're very humble.
So I just kind of teach them, you know, the game, the little ins and outs. I'm very in tune with details of the game. So I teach them, you know, where their hand needs to be, or, you know, what's easier, when you're trying to do a between the legs or a crossover. So I'm really, slow the game down and really teach them the fundamentals.
Gotcha.
And then when we get to a certain point, can kind of go further than that. But they'll get it sooner or later.
Absolutely. How do you feel about the state of basketball for women's in particular, college and pros right now? Because there's a lot of hype and talk around women's basketball here lately, and that haven't always been in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great thing. It's headed in a great direction. Especially college with Dawn Staley. I really love her. She's amazing.
She's awesome. Bro.
Yeah,
she's doing a thing.
She's
shout out to Coach Staley.
Yeah, I really love her. I wish one day I'm gonna meet her.
Yeah,
but between her and Angel Reese just being a voice, and Caitlin Clark just being a phenomenal player, like coming in as like a Steph Curry type player.
Right. I hate how media try to pitch an agenda against them.
Yeah.
Instead of letting them girls just be who they are and soak in their greatness. Like, and it's not them per se. It's the media and the
definitely the media.
And it's like, come on, man, really?
Yeah, it's definitely the media, and to a certain extent, the media has helped grow the game.
Right.
But it's how they pitch it and present it is a little iffy.
Yeah, it's almost like seeing the second coming of Magic and Bird, but the female version.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I'm here for it, man. I tell you this much. I haven't watched women's basketball never in my life as much as I have the past 2 years. Like, I mean, fully engaged. I watch more women's basketball than I watch the men's. Like, well, as far as like on the collegiate level.
Right.
And I'm like, I couldn't even get into the men's, the NCAA men's basketball. But the women's game, I'm locked in. I'm like, man, these girls is like, the games was like so electrifying and so exciting to watch.
You gotta grab your popcorn for the women's game.
Right, exactly, man. And it's crazy. And I know the TV networks made a killing because I'm not the only person that felt this way. I talk to other people, they say the same thing. So I'm like thinking, and then it's very sad when you hear, the income that, the professional level make.
Right.
When you hear the woman athlete, and it's like, come on now, something has to change.
And they throw it on, like, viewership and everything like that, which I'm understanding is partly, the issue, but, people got to be engaged. You got to put it out there for people to be engaged, like they're doing now.
Right.
Like, you putting it out there so people are actually watching now.
Right.
But
you got prime time games now.
It shouldn't take, necessarily one particular player when the WNBA have some hoopers.
Right.
I played against a lot of them. So they have some hoopers that'll actually get it done and get it there. That's exciting to watch if you actually love, the game.
Right.
But, the media, that now they're stepping their game up, which shout out to them, but they're stepping their game up now to where regardless of it's one particular player, whatever, people are watching. And that's big time at this point. Hopefully, that grows the game, that grows, the pay for them, and it just gets better. Right,
man. I hope so for the best for those girls, man, because they give a lot. They work their butt off, and when you go hard for something like that, it's only right that you be compensated fairly. It was a lot of big fuss about. Caitlin Clark had an offer from Ice Cube to pay in the big three, and he was going to offer her $5 million a year. Versus her salary in WNBA was only going to be like 200 and some thousand over 3 years or something. It was something ridiculous, and you can't help but think like, really, like this girl is a superstar.
Yeah,
her jersey sold out in minutes soon as she got drafted, and it's like, come on, man, that's a slap in the face. So something has to be. The WNBA has to make it right with them girls and get it. I was looking at a game the other night, and I'm like, all the girls on the floor, that team, the team average age couldn't have been like over 25 years old. I'm like, they all young, they all balling. They're gonna have, God bless it, a long career.
Right.
So they should have a high ceiling to make a lot of money, and that's just the way it should be. But that's just me. That's just Remy giving his take on it. How you feel and I always ask a lot of my athlete friends this, especially with you being a Hall of Famer, you know, how do you feel about the NIL and these kids now making tons of money before they even get into the pros? Do you feel slighted?
I do.
You should.
I do. I just feel like, you know, I had to. I'm not even gonna put it out there, but it was crazy back then.
Yeah.
Back in 05 through 09, you know, it was a lot of things that we couldn't accept. We couldn't accept dinner at a certain point.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's now seeing how it changed. It grew. So, you know, that's big time. But just, you know, I felt like if I would have had that opportunity, you know, I would have been probably in a different position than I am now,
ain't no doubt about it. And think about it. Y'all kicked in the door and paved the way because these girls now I'm hearing that Florida's fighting for NIL to pay high schoolers. So can you imagine being in high school, getting the kind of money that they're gonna potentially can make?
And getting paid more than the coaches.
Right. So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, okay, college, you in college. That number, you wore that number 3. We're gonna talk about that number 3 too. You wore that number 3 jersey. Think about how many number 3 jersey sales. Think about how many ticket sales that USF sold for home games or away or whatever the case may. Think about concession money that the school made, and you mean to tell me you can't get a small percentage of that?
Right.
You know,
because it's ultimately your name. You know?
Right.
And you know, it was times where my mom then when they got jerseys, you know, made. So just to have number 3 on it and Grace on it.
Right.
So just, you know, the difference between that and now, you know, is jersey selling in their school stores and whatever else, you know, it's different. It's different. I definitely feel like, you know, I wish those times were when I was playing, but you know, that's good for them though.
Right. Honestly. It is. It's great.
It's good.
You know, just, I mean, man, I hate that for you. The number 3. Did you pick that number? Or was it given to you?
I picked it.
Okay.
I grew up, you know, a little bit watching Jordan. I love Jordan, you know, but my era was really Allen Iverson. That's my GOAT.
AI.
That's my GOAT. Iverson is my GOAT. So I really tried to model my game after him.
Okay.
He was a little bit quicker than me, but just, you know, idolizing that crossover. That was my signature move, you know, coming in. And my birthday is on the 3rd day of September. So it was just that 3 just kind of stuck with me, you know, after a while. So between that, I was able to, you know, have it in high school. And that was actually one of my factors, you know, picking a college. I wanted to make sure I have my number. Wow. I had, you know, any choice between any school to go to, but that was one of them. Like, okay, who has number 3? How long they're going to be there? Can I get it?
Right.
You know, because, you know, I had a signature since I started playing basketball, autograph to where, you know, 3 was on it.
That's a popular number in, you know, you not only basketball, but also in football. Like, you know, 3 is just that number, and it's a divine number. It's a lot. The number 3 has so many other symbolic meanings, but yeah, that's that number, man. So you picked a great number. You picked a great university. You know, cause just the thing, look in hindsight, look at what it got you. I mean, 3-time Big East, you know, All-American. You know, I done pulled up your stats. I done looked at everything. I can't even. That's why I was saying in the introduction, I can't even sit here and name everything that you did. But, you know, to be 3-time All-American, to have, you know, to be a Hall of Famer at USF, only 2 other girls can share that with you, you know.
It's actually 3 now.
It's 3 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just inducted someone like a couple years ago.
You're in an elite category. It's you know, you could throw a rock in a crowd of 100,000 people and won't hit somebody that can say they're All-American, you know. So that's crazy. That's phenomenal. Do you know how far back the correlation of basketball and hip hop go? Like, you know, basketball is just that sport that just mesh well with hip hop. You know that, right?
I know a little bit about it, not too much.
Yeah, okay. All right. Dream in the back could probably tell you a little bit more about that. But
I'm sure.
you know, there was a rapper once upon a time, early rap, when I was like barely jumping off the porch. But early days, it was a rapper, Curtis Blow, and he had the song Basketball, which I don't know if you heard it or not, but
I heard of him.
Yeah,
I might have heard of the song.
but that was like a platinum single back in like the 80s. Like, you know, it went gold or something crazy, you know, and it had a simple hook, we're playing basketball.
Okay, yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like hip hop and basketball has been, it's been a staple for forever. Like, you know, since hip hop is only 50 years old, so you got to think as long as hip hop been around, basketball has kind of been like that sport that just embraced it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? More so than any other sport. That was just my little trivia I wanted to give you. So what are some of your long-term goals and plans? I mean, you know, we talk about the business endeavors that you have going on right now, but what would you like to see in the next, and it don't have to be, you know, it could be the next 5 or 10 years. Like, do you have things that you're setting out to accomplish now?
Honestly, want to be a collegiate basketball coach.
Okay.
I wanna go into the college level and, you know, be there for them as well as I am for the high school level right now.
I can see that. I can see you doing that.
I think the college level is more of, you know, girls that actually, you know, want to play and trying to get to the next level and really playing for a purpose. And, you know, they give you a different type of dedication.
Right. Okay.
So that's my goal.
Okay.
Within, you know, the next, you know, 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. But that's my end goal. And after that, you know, I do want to go into broadcasting. You know, I feel like I got a voice and a face for the TV, so I want to be in front of the cameras.
Okay. I can see that. I like both of those. You know, collegiate coach, you got a plethora of knowledge and experience. So, you know, who else better for a coaching job on that level? You know, I can definitely see you doing that. So stay at it, you know, and just keep your nose to the ground, but don't scratch it. And you know, things will come to you. I'm a firm believer in that. We're gonna take a brief little intermission. We're gonna pay some bills. We got some sponsors we want to shout out, and we'll be right back with you. So, viewers, y'all stay tuned. We're gonna take a small intermission.
Elevate your event with us. Kardashian beauty filter, premium props, and AI backgrounds. One-stop shop for fun with jumbo game packages. Ask about our selfie drop-off package. Excellent service guaranteed. Let's make your event unforgettable. Book now.
All right, so you're back with No Chaser Live Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Remy Roe. We're sitting here with Shantia Grace, and we're just chopping it up. We're talking basketball and all the great accomplishments that she have achieved over the years. So good to be back with you. We just paid some bills and took a small intermission. Glad to be back on. So for those that's tuned in to the show right now, you can actually call in if you have questions for Shantia. You can reach us at 813-501-7266. I'll repeat that. That's 813-501-7266. We'll take a few calls if you have some questions you want to ask. But in the meantime, I'm going to get into my next question with you. 2009 MVP season. Let's kind of go into that MVP season. Like, was it something you did differently that year than you had did all the other years?
Got in better shape.
Okay.
That was really, the best shape of my career, my senior year. And it was more of making sure I stay on the court and be available for 40 minutes out the game. So I dropped, probably like 10, 15 pounds, was quicker, and my shot got more consistent, my three-point shot. And by that time, my team, we were all, shooters. I had one of the greatest three-point shooters on my team at the time. Her name was Janae, and she was, hitting shots like Caitlin Clark, just that deep with it. So just having her, on the court and having a nice point guard. At certain times I went to the 2 spot, so I was able to, have a different shot come off a couple screens and not off the dribble.
Gotcha.
So it was a lot easier to, get in my spots and put some points up. But it was really all about being in shape.
Wow. How many points did you average that year?
That year, I'm actually not sure. It was probably close to 20.
Okay. That's
yeah. We were
that's
actually
amazing. That's damn good.
Up there with UConn with the highest points per game for the school. So we was like 1 and 2 with UConn that year.
In that season, you and your rhythm, you doing your thizzle. When did you realize that MVP was in your grasp? Like,
I actually didn't. It was just more of, we on a mission. Because my first year we got we were able to go to the NCAA tournament, the first in school history, and it was just a taste of that, being able to fly first class and get a different treatment. So that was more of a mission than individual accolades. So my second year, we felt like we got slighted. My third year was a little rough year, but coming out that senior year was more of the team. We're on a mission. And the fact of we got slighted really that year, and they took 7 other teams from the Big East at that time that we actually beat. That gave us that extra push in that postseason to really go on that run. But it was more of like I said, my team that I really wanted to be out there and do stuff for versus me individually.
Wow, that's what you like to hear from your leader. It's so easy for someone to talk about themselves and put the spotlight on them, but that's what gets you MVP honors when it's not about me, it's about the team. It's bigger than me, and that's what you basically saying, and that's the reason why you was able to achieve that accomplishment. So salute to that, man. That's big.
Thank you.
Yeah. When you go back to the soda, and go back home, is the love like? Are you embrace how I would think you are? Like, is it that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Born and raised there. Playing 45 minutes away. You have those that actually followed me. My whole career from when I first started out until when I finished. So it's definitely genuine love and genuine people out there that come up to me and, oh, you're a Hall of Famer. Oh, Shantia Grace.
Right.
So it's still hard for me to really grasp it sometimes. Like, I'm just me, but at the end of the day, it is a big time accomplishment, and sometimes it hit me. And sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, what's up?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I love the humbleness, man. You don't find that with a lot of people, Some people just are the total opposite, and they walk around with their nose up or their chest poked out, and like, do you know what I done did? And it's, and they have that everything is I, and you don't get that. I don't get that when I talk to you. So that's dope. We're gonna kind of break the monotony a little bit. I usually have a box where I dig in the box and I pull questions out, but I didn't bring the box tonight. But I do got some questions that I just want to throw, not basketball related per se, but we're just gonna go back to childhood. What was your favorite out of freeze tag or hide and go seek?
Freeze tag.
Freeze tag?
Yeah, I was never a good hider. Like, I don't know, something about me trying to hide, I picked the worst spots. So I say freeze tag because I was a little quick, trying to, get away from people.
Gotcha.
My first step type deal. I guess that correlates to basketball court. But, yeah, I'll go freeze tag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Frozen cups or 9-laters?
So where I'm from, we don't call them frozen cups.
What y'all call them? Honeysuckles or something like that?
Juleps.
Juleps? What the hell?
Yeah, we straight juleps, man.
I ain't never heard that before.
What? Oh yeah, that's a big thing,
Juleps.
Juleps.
Never heard that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I go with juleps.
Okay.
And you can flip them and do all
Yeah, turn
that.
them upside down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got another one I want to ask you. Damn, it was on the tip. I think in a second. What was in the free lunch? What was the one thing in your free lunch you would trade? Everybody trade, like, I give you my chocolate milk for your fruit cup or your white milk or whatever. Did you trade anything in your free lunch?
Nah.
Yeah.
I ain't really messing with the school lunch like that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Chick-fil-A I can get out there at the school, I wasn't messing with it.
But you ain't do the free lunch at the park?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
Okay. I respect that. Shoot. We used to tear that free lunch down, boy. Man, shoot, you go get that free lunch at the park.
I know one thing I wasn't trading though was that pizza. That square pizza?
Yeah, the square pizza.
Oh yeah,
that
any
square
day
pizza
I was on
that deal.
Yeah.
That was that deal. And you know what? I ain't gonna lie. At the school I went to, man, them ladies in the kitchen used to throw it down. They used to make a mean shepherd's pie, boy.
Shepherd's pie, I can dig that.
Man, I'm talking about that thing used to be sliding for real. For real, man. Let's see here. We're gonna switch it over to music for a second. So I know you said earlier when you was in game mode on your way to the arena, you listening to R&B. Who is one of your favorite R&B artists?
I was on Kelly Price heavy. Kelly Price, Monica.
Okay.
Mary J.
The legends.
Yeah. SWV. 702. I was on them.
Okay, that was during a time when just music was music. Like you don't get that kind of R&B now. Like R&B is just pretty much.
Oh yeah, Escape
like,
too.
Yeah.
Escape.
Oh, and Escape. Yeah, Escape was that deal.
Yeah.
What about rap? Did you have any rappers or rappers that you listened to or fought with?
Then I was heavy on Wayne and Plies.
Okay.
Them was about the only two. It was a little bit of Jay-Z by 1 or 2 songs, but it was really like Plies and Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plies,
That's when Plies was here like every weekend.
What? He was that guy coming out the 239. Yeah. You know, that was it. You know, and Wayne, of course, Wayne was everybody top, you know, at that time. Definitely. You know, especially the Squad Up Wayne. Woo, that was back when the mixtapes was man, it was nasty. So like let's talk about, you know, the agony of defeat. We're going to talk about, you know, cuz it's one thing to identify with some of your personal accolades, but let's talk about to be a champion, to be a leader, how you dealt with the adversity of losing.
It was more of chin up. Like, you know, everybody have to take a loss at a certain point. Right. But it was, long as I went out there, played hard, and did, you know, the best I can do, you know, what more can you ask? Right. So I had to take that. Yeah, it was still, you know, that part of you that's like, dang, like, what could I have done better? But at the end of the day, you know, play hard, be consistent, and actually give it your all. You know, you can't take, once the game ends and the clock is at 0, you know, what more can you actually really do? Losses
is a learning lesson. I mean, it may go on the stat sheet, but at the end of the day, you learn from that, you know, and no one wants that feeling. Right. You know, you go through it, you experience it, and like you say, you look at what you could have did, or you know, done better, basically. You know,
and chin up and work on it. Right, get better. Go back to the drawing board. Okay, this is what, you know, this team was doing. This is what the scouting report. I'm pretty much what they say, you know, on the scouting report, and you know, fix it. Right. Yeah, I'm always, you know, big on fixing anything. You know, everything can be fixed in my opinion. So just, okay, last game, you know, I didn't shoot the ball well. Let's get in the gym and get those shots up. Right. So next time when it comes, it's no question about you knocking it down. So it's you know, just
I like that. Identifying your weaknesses and working on it. You know, some people have a hard time coming to reality with weaknesses. You know, and that's not good. You know, and anything you do, you should just as much as you look at what you're great at, you should look at the areas that you're not great at and work on those and improve those. You know, it does no good to keep working on something you're already good at. You know, so and I firm believe in that. I've been in music. You know, I played ball, did everything. So. And a great coach, I always say it, and always have short-term memory. Right. You know, you mess up, you know, you get over it, and you just you live for the next play. Dust yourself off, live for the next play, and keep it going.
Because you missed that shot, you know, just got to believe the next.
I think we got a call on the line. We got a call on the line? Yeah. All right, got these headphones. To hear them, you'll want to. Thank you for calling in the No Chaser Live Talk podcast. Caller, would you state your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, sir. My name is Spook Miller from Sarasota County, preferably Newtown. 941 stand up, Shantia Grace. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, man. So do you got a question for Shantia?
I just want to tell Shantia I'm proud of her. We used to play ball together. I used to pick her. She plays the boys. What she's saying is, listen, what she's definitely speaking and what's coming out of her mouth is definitely true. She was a dog, football field, basketball field, and she held it down. And she's very, very humble, a very humble person, and I love it. I just want to say, Shantia, keep putting on for 941. Keep representing. Keep remaining humble. Keep striving for your goals. I'm proud of you. We're going to link up.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, Spook, man, for real. I actually just spoke with you today, so we definitely going to link up. I got some stuff going on, so, you know, we locked in. I appreciate you, dog.
Hey, Spook, Spook, I appreciate it. My boy say, I pick her. Like, come on, she over here with us, man.
That's
Hey,
That's a fact. That's a fact. There ain't no, oh, she the last person. She the last person gonna pick her. No, my God, I need her on my team.
right. That's what it is, man. That speaks volume on your game. Speaks volume. Hey, Spook,
Straight up.
man, I
Straight
appreciate you calling in and tuning in to the show. And if you're not subscribing, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yes, sir. Will do.
All right. Salute you, brother.
All day.
Man, that's good, man. When people, when other people vouch for your greatness, when this man was like, look, we picked you, like you gotta be on my team. You ain't the last person getting picked. We picking you off real.
Hey man, Spook is a big time player. He just as humble as I am.
Okay.
Like he's a big time player. We played high school at Riverview High School together.
Okay.
And he was one of the top.
Gotcha.
He's up there at the top with me. He had the jumper, the killer crossover. I believe he's a lefty, so you know how they roll. So
right.
He does his thing with training the kids and giving the kids the knowledge too. So we definitely have the same blood, when it comes to this basketball thing.
That's what's
up.
So
that's big time coming from him. He's like an older brother to me.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
I
what's up.
definitely appreciate him. We definitely was in a race of linking up actually this summer and stuff. So yeah, that's I ride with him.
Okay.
I ride with him.
With the I'm gonna kind of switch gears a little bit because I know you kind of touched on it, but we didn't really talk about it. With your tenure with IMG, IMG being a very huge, I don't know what you want to call it. I hate to even call it a high school because it's like a university, really.
Yeah.
But kind of talk us into that a little bit about what it's like coaching, because with IMG you get the creme de la creme, you get the top of the crop athletes from all over the world, not just in the U.S. You got kids that get imported in here from over other countries. So how is that?
Well, with IMG, I'm actually more of a mentor. I'm not on the coaching side as far as particular sport.
Okay.
But I'm actually in the dorms with the girls, all the girls that's boarding there, because it's a boarding school. So
right.
All the girls that's boarding there, I pretty much, be the face and just a voice for them to come to throughout the day. And it's student life, the department I'm in, so it's outside of their sport. So I make sure, their room is situated. If they have any issues, with girls, teenage girls, it's boyfriend issues and all that
right.
type stuff. Life issues, just, being there for a mentor.
Okay.
So just being able to, be there for, all the girls and just knowing, where they're trying to go, because anyone that goes to IMG, most of them are trying to reach the next level. So just being able to, let them know, I've been there, I understand, I know what you're going through, I know what you're thinking, most of the time, and just, I know how hard it is, I know, how hard you have to push. So just being available for them, that's a great feeling, because you get I have the coaching aspect of it on one end, but I also have the life aspect on another.
Right.
So just, being there for those girls,
Right.
that's big. That's big to me.
That's huge, man. That's huge. And and that again is so unselfish of you to give your time back to girls who are in that position. Because a lot of people that of your caliber, they could say, man, I don't have time to go do this or go do that, but you still make time and give back. And that's huge, man. And that's why people speak so highly on your name and your character and the person that you are. So keep doing that, man. Keep chipping away at it. Don't never change. Keep being that person,
Yeah. I'm always going to give back.
Yeah.
Regardless of if it's 941 or I started out my coaching career in Clearwater at Dunedin High School. So just being available for, these girls, not even just girls, anybody that, the level or, any business adventure, like I'm into that now. So it's just, I'm in the business of helping people. I always want to help, because I didn't do this alone.
Right.
I had help. I had people in my corner. And I still have people in my corner, that I could reach out to, with anything that I want to do in life. So just everybody don't have that opportunity. So if I can be that opportunity for someone, what does it hurt me?
Gotcha.
So that's my focus, actually, being available.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's solid, man. That's very solid. If you can give advice to a young girl out there that may be watching this interview, or someone that may not have physical contact or never heard of you, or what would be that one word of advice, or what would you tell? What's the message you would like to give them?
Never give up. Like just keep going. You may hear a no, 1,000 times, but it's gonna be that one yes that actually gets you to where you want to go. Mm-hmm. I didn't just out the blue, start at the top. I had to work my way there. I didn't have, the perfect childhood to where everything was 100 and everything was straight. I had my struggles, I had my issues, I had my doubts. But one thing I kept doing is kept going.
Right.
And, if that was, basketball was something that I wanted to do, that was my outlet. My dream wasn't to, be this Hall of Famer and all that. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about getting out of the position I was in and having fun, like as a child. So as I was doing that on the court, basketball became easy. And then at that point, it was people, helping me along the way, seeing that, I needed help with this portion of my life and that portion of my life. So it's a lot of people out there that just, I call my moms, or I call, my dads, or cousins, or families, or brothers, or sisters, like, because it's a lot of people played a part in, my success. Mm-hmm. And I reach out to them, I talk to them, I give them their flowers, while they're here, because I couldn't do this alone.
Right.
So, they gave me that push to actually keep going and, never give up, and gave me those talks to, let me know that I'm special, that I'm different, and I can do this, and I have that gift. So just hearing those words and having those people in your corner,
those are affirmations that push you. And it's one thing about success too is once you start achieving a certain level of success, you got to keep going, because you become a target.
Right.
People are coming for that spot. Mm-hmm. They looking at you now. Mm-hmm. I want what she got. I want to be where she is. I want that position. So now if you get complacent and get content, that's where you'll drop off.
Right.
So you have to keep going. You have to keep grinding. You didn't become a Hall of Famer by being complacent and not working. You had to work your butt off constantly. Mm-hmm. Until it was all said and done. You had to keep doing what you had to do every day.
Right.
Y'all want my spot? Oh well, you better work your ass off.
Yeah.
Because I'm over here I'm doing my thizzle. You know
right.
what I'm saying? That's the way, and that's the approach you gotta have. That's the approach I have every day. It's so many people I know out there that look at me, man, how he managed to do this, how he managed to do that.
Staying consistent.
Yeah.
And
work when you ain't working.
Right.
So and that's just always be my motto. I might not be the best at what I do, but I'm gonna outwork you. Mm-hmm. My work gonna show out. It's gonna prove for itself. So, that's real, and hard work pays off, man. You are definitely a testimony to that. Like,
yeah, I mean, it hasn't been easy. I've gotten to a point in my life right now to where I'm well. I'm comfortable. I'm doing well for myself and my family. So it was just being consistent and not giving up. Like that's just been it my whole life. And just being able to be where I'm at now, like you said, it's a testimony, because I've been down, I've been up, I've been down again. I hit rock bottom, just a couple of years ago. But just being blessed with the right people, pulling for me, the right people praying for me. My mom is a praying woman, so for a fact. So just having her by my side. Having, my sister, she gave me the tough love. She's the older sister, but
okay.
Just having her, and then me on the flip side of my dad's side being an older sibling, that just, knowing I have younger siblings looking up to me and just having to be there for them, having a great woman on my side,
Right.
just believing in me and always having my back through it all. Like, it's, having a brother like Dream,
Right.
he in the
Dream
background.
child.
Yeah. He in the background, but he
Yeah.
do a lot. He's that listening ear. He's gonna do whatever it is that you ask him to do.
Right.
With no hesitation. So it's a lot of hands on, but it's just at this moment in my life, like, I'm truly blessed.
That's real.
Like,
And I told you this before we went on air earlier. Like, when Dream make the call,
yeah,
you listen.
right.
Because Dream don't call every day. You may hear from him 1 month. You may not hear from him 4 or 5 months after that. But when he placed that call, and he stand on what he stand on, and he say, "Look, I got somebody for the podcast, to come on the show." You take heed to that. And once he told me what it is and your accolades, and I was like, man, you ain't got to convince me, brother. It's a done deal. So we made it happen, and shout out to my brother, man. I don't know how much he told you about our history, but we go way back. What I'm saying, like 4 flats and all that. But but yeah, man, I'm just honored and thrilled to be able to sit down and have this conversation with you. I think we're gonna have. I got another question I'm gonna ask you before we close out our interview. The response and the welcoming that you get when you walk back on USF campus.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy because some of the fans are still there. They're season ticket holders, boosters, things like that. Like I said, my coach is still there, the head coach, and it's also an assistant coach that's still there when I played. So,
oh wow!
With them, with the coaches, it's always love. We won a championship together.
You USF royalty, yeah. So I know it's like they roll out the red carpet.
So when it's the fans, just hearing their stories. That gets me every time. That puts me in a whole nother dimension.
Right.
Just hearing, someone come up to me is like, oh yeah, I started, coming to the games when you played, and I'm still here, and it was amazing. Do you have another year of eligibility?
Right.
Stuff like that is great. And then just being able to walk in that gym and see my jersey hanging up with my last
in the
name.
rafters, yeah,
like that. That's like, I take a picture every time, like it's my first time seeing it.
Wow,
like it's that crazy.
I'm
me.
checking for it next time. I haven't been to a USF game in so long, but I was just telling somebody the other day. I was like, you know what? Next season, I'm definitely in the building, man. I'm gonna go check some Bulls games out. Not only just the basketball, but the football too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I mean, they right here. We should support. It's our home team, so
right. And that university, they work hard. They go hard for everybody on that campus.
Right.
That's definitely one of the best things that I've ever done. Was going to USF. I didn't have no regrets about it. It's just overall it's a great university. I pride myself with that, with the Bull. My AAU program has the colors and the bull. Like,
okay.
I'm USF everything. I can't go for, any other Florida school.
Right.
Outside of USF, like that's just in me. But just, being there, like the treatment, even after all these years, I left in 2009. So just being there, being able to, talk to someone, it's like, hey, can I get this floor seat right here? Just being, in that atmosphere itself,
right.
That's a cool thing to me.
That is. Well, in our closing statements, I just want to say, Shantia Grace, amazing Grace. It was an honor having you on tonight.
Yes, sir.
Always remember, put God first, grind hard, and believe in anything you can achieve it. You feel me, baby?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you. My boy.